9 o'clock right now. Welcome back to CW Iowa Live. Lou and Jackie here along with a good friend, Sheree Clark, and she realizes that, February and Valentine's Day pretty much go hand in hand, and legend has it that Richard Cadbury, that'd be the candy guy, right?
Indeed.
He created this whole deal, started the custom of giving chocolates on Valentine's Day for making a little money.
Little cashola.
This time of year, well, is a brilliant move marketing-wise, but at the same time, a lot of people eating a lot of extra calories, aren't they?
Exactly, and things that maybe aren't so healthy for them. So it's pretty common to get this sort of a thing as a Valentine's Day gift, and that's a common thing to have happen. And you run into Walgreens or you go into some, a department store and you grab a box of chocolates. And while that's all well and good, there's a better way. And to be truthful, the better way is kind of two-pronged. One, it's healthier, and you know that I'm all about that. But two, I think in the long run, it's a lot more thoughtful. As a woman, and Jackie, maybe you've had this experience, you get the obligatory box of chocolates and you're thinking to yourself, yeah, but there goes my New Year's resolution. Or that's nice and that's great and I feel honored, but I really don't need this. So another alternative might be, for example,
I thought what you were going to say is I enjoy when someone creates something for me, as opposed to just realizing, oh, it's that day.
Yes.
Running, grabbing something. They actually took the time and effort to put something personalized.
And I do want to talk about that, but I also recognize that not everybody has an abundance of time.
True.
And so the point I wanted to make to start with is, if you're going to buy something for somebody, put some thought into it. Thought doesn't necessarily take time. You can think while you're driving.
Okay.
So this is an example of, you could do a book for somebody that's appropriate. And this one I particularly
My
like.
mom gave that to me for Christmas.
Isn't that great?
Yeah,
and
love
if you think about it, just the whole concept of having somebody call you a badass would be kind of a compliment, really. So if you look at that, pick the book carefully. Don't just go by the title. Look at what it's about. You want to be really careful about that. But if you buy somebody an appropriate book, and then, for example, you could just throw in, do a nice, some kind of a sentimental bookmark or something like that. That would be a great gift alternative, and it doesn't go to your hips. So
And you're going to have it around for a while.
Exactly, exactly. So that would be one. But if you're hell-bent on you're going to do something sweet and whatever, I've got a couple of ideas.
Okay.
So what I did for today was I went and I made some goodies out of some of the ingredients that we've been talking about over the past several weeks. And the other thing I want to tell you is it's about the presentation. So we can do things that are healthy and we can do things that are good, and you think, oh, well, that's not as exciting as the decadent chocolates. It can be. So, for example, use linen napkins. I brought you guys linen napkins today, and not only did I bring you linen napkins, I put a little napkin ring on there. These napkin rings are inexpensive. These are actually leftover Christmas ornaments.
They are.
Yeah, they are. So, and they look really nice, and it makes it look special, and it makes it look, so we
festive,
ramped
yeah.
it up, exactly. So here I've got.
I kind of thought those were going to be your earrings for a second.
Well, they could be. I could wrap those around or make it a pendant. Yeah, it's all that. So, for example, this would be a really nice dessert presentation. Anything in a martini glass is already tasting better, right? So here we've got these are Matcha Chia Balls. Matcha and chia being two ingredients we talked about a couple weeks ago.
Right, I just saw some on the shelf at the grocery store, matcha, and we talked about that after seeing that and having our conversation.
And you could buy those ingredients, and Jackie, you've got those over there, and you could make them yourself, and they're just so easy and wonderful. So I've given you each one on your little plate there, so you could give that a taste. It's not chocolate. Not everybody eats chocolate. I mean, a lot of people do, and some people enjoy it, but there's caffeine, and some people don't. They're for whatever their reasons are, they don't eat it. So this is chocolate-free. It's got the matcha in it, which is a superfood. It's got the chia in it, which keeps you full. So that would be something that I'm going to invite you to taste it.
Okay, so it's matcha, and matcha is a tea?
Matcha is the tea, yep, and the tea is a powdered tea, so you're getting the entire leaf of the tea when you're consuming it. So
seems very moist. I was expecting it to crumble. And
no,
it did
it's
not crumble.
really moist and these I keep in the refrigerator, so they've got a little bit of a chill to them. I think that they're really nice. It's a unique flavor. Now, if you really do want to add a chocolate, you could put a chocolate drizzle over the top of that, or do something like that. You could crumble them and put them on an ice cream if you wanted to. The point being, if you make something yourself, and my recipes are all easy and they don't require any baking or cooking, so children could make these. So if you're doing something special for Valentine's Day for mom, this would be an example of something. Another example, using some ingredients that we've talked about, is carrot cake. Now, carrot cake is typically done baked, and it's got flour, and a lot of people are watching their flour intake, and they're, you know, they're kind of trying to be grain free or whatever. The ingredients for this recipe are fresh carrots and oatmeal. And so this really, you'll be very surprised at how moist this cake is.
Now, a lot of people at home are like, wait a minute, you eat raw. How are you making
a cake? It's dates, and usually this is also, by the way, a nut-free cake because not everybody eats nuts.
Can eat nuts.
So I'm taking into account the fact that when you're buying something for somebody and it's a food-oriented kind of a thing, you want to be mindful that it's something that they can and will eat. So check with the person that is the object of your affection first. Make sure they don't have a nut allergy. Make sure that they aren't allergic to some type of a food. So this is an example of something, a nut-free, very moist cake using fresh whole carrots, also using oatmeal. So again, dense.
What is the binder in that then?
Dates.
Dates. Dates would be the binder.
So you just mix everything up and form it, or how does it look like a cake?
And this I formed using just a silicone mold, but you could also do it with your hands. You could make them into the little balls like we did with the Chia Matcha Balls.
That is really good.
Isn't that delicious? You know what? A secret, I eat it for breakfast.
Really?
Isn't that perfect? It's a breakfast thing.
That's what it tastes like.
Because it's sweet and it's moist and it's yummy, and it's one of my favorite things. I make it into little squares, and plus you can eat it in the car when you're in a hurry.
And it's great when it's cold like this too.
It is, yeah. I took it right out of the fridge, and there it is. If you wanted to, again, make it a little more decadent, you could put a cashew kind of a frosting on it. But again, make sure that your person, the object of your desires, doesn't have a nut allergy. So
how many carrots do you need to put something like this together?
it depends on how big of a cake you make.
Okay.
I could make your single portion. We have little baby carrots over there. That's probably got maybe 1 or 2 baby carrots.
That's
in
it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and because the other things bulk it up. The oatmeal makes it bulky. There's a little bit of coconut, which is why I garnished it with the
How
coconut.
long do you have to have it sit? Because the oatmeal that's in there is not crunchy. It's moist.
No, once I combine it all together in the food processor, because I grind the oatmeal. So the oatmeal gets ground up with the dates and with the carrots.
So it gets rehydrated quicker.
Yes. Remember, there's fresh carrots.
Okay.
So the moisture from the carrots is absorbed by the oatmeal.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it hits on all those flavors that you're expecting to experience when you bite into a carrot cake.
Right. It's sweet, moist, dense. It's all those things. So do try it for breakfast sometime. Okay. So we've kind of covered the bases, but you've noticed that I haven't talked about chocolate.
Right.
So
Hello.
there are some people that say they've got to have their chocolates on Valentine's Day. So rather than buy the Cadbury box, I made something chocolate, which is quintessential, classic, can't beat it chocolate things. Okay, so what is that? What would that be? Well, first of all, I went and got a box.
Very cute box.
Yep, just buy it off the shelf. You can get these already made, or you can make one yourself. And of course, I had to make chocolate-covered strawberries.
Can I say that's one of my favorite things?
Well, then let me pass this over,
good.
and so
Now
that
these
you
little
can
boxes
enjoy.
here, if you're looking to save some money, the stores that charge $1 for things have a lot of these.
Yes,
things,
the dollar stores have those, and then hobby stores and whatnot. And here's a P.S. They're going to go on sale on the 15th.
Right.
So
tell your sweetie that Valentine's Day has been changed to the 15th.
Right,
this
exactly.
year.
Stock on up. Okay, so you're giving me one of my favorite treats of all time, which is chocolate-covered strawberries. But how are we doing this in maybe a little better way?
Okay,
little healthier
perfect.
way.
Yes. So what I did was I bought some organic strawberries.
Okay.
And I bought this is cacao butter, and the cacao butter actually this bag is opened. When we open these, they are just basically little chocolate. These are chocolate, even though they're not brown in color. These are medallions. What they are is they're primarily a fat source. And so I melt these very carefully. The one thing that anybody who's ever worked with chocolate before realizes, the one thing that you have to be careful of is to, when you're melting your chocolate, to not let any water hit it. If any water gets into it, it will seize. So you usually melt it in a double boiler.
I was going to say you have to be real careful there with the steam.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So you keep the water away from the bottom of the double boiler. In fact, what I do is I usually use a glass or Pyrex bowl because it keeps all of that steam contained. That's the only hard part about it. Everything else is easy. So you take that, you melt it, you put in a little bit of chocolate powder, a sweetener. I used honey for yours today, in whatever proportions you like, but I typically use 50-50 of the cacao and then the the chocolate powder, and then just a little dab of honey. I like it bittersweet.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I enjoy a good bittersweet, and I gotta tell you, absolutely delicious. So there is a healthy option, even if you're wanting to crave a little bit of chocolate on that special sweet day.
And so I made it myself, so I can say, look what I made for you, and that makes it, as you were saying, that much more special.
Perfect.
Great ideas. All right, so Valentine's Day right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. If you want more great ideas or recipes so you can make something special for your favorite Valentine, where can they go, Sheree?
Reach out to me by an email at info@fork-road.com or on my website, www.fork-road.com. And if you're going to make any of those, save one for me.
Yeah,
this carrot cake
I was
is
going to
really,
say,
really
thank
good.
you for being my Valentine this morning and making my favorite sweet treat.
You're so welcome. So I'll share with you if you're trying to make it this week.
Good stuff.